Hello, love. Welcome home to Eden. This is Eve Christoph, your love life muse. Stick with me for the hottest news, and we will, oh my God, we'll get somewhere new. So, dare you speak out? Dare you shout out what you really feel? Dare you be that ballsy and that audacious as a woman in your job surrounded by men? I mean, I went to this conference at my job and it was a sea of men. Good looking, hot guys. It was pretty exciting. Okay. But you know, there was what, 3 of us women and in this sea of men, and it was clear that there was no ideas being presented to the group that were from feminine minds. And this job, solar, that I do, the men have to go and talk to a lot of women, you know, and I was just feeling like, you know, we're doing pretty damn good. Okay, we're entering the world that's got one particular way that everybody looks at things through the male lens, and dare you be that woman. So I've become extremely outspoken in my job. But I do it with humor, okay? I do it with love. I don't try to bash the masculine because I love these guys, and they're teaching me a lot, you know, their way of, you know, the way the men have built these buildings and created these technologies and bridges. It's incredible. It's amazing. They're teaching me about hard work and sticking with your agenda. But there's a lot of how the company does what it does that, you know, it's just like as if work is the only thing that exists. Like, what about downtime? What about family? What about art? What about exercise, you know? So basically, I just want to encourage you to be outspoken in a really feminine way. Do it with joy, do it with humor, okay? And you will get away with it. Not only will you get away with it, I mean, I already influenced the whole team to give everybody a 5-day a week instead of a 6-day week. And it was just obvious that people needed that. But, you know, like, no, we're go-getters. We want to be the hottest ones in the company. Well, guess what? Since we started having our 5-day a week instead, we're all doing better. And our team is sailing up to the top of the company. Feminine values do not have to counter-integrate undo the masculine agenda. Actually, they work together. They always have. And this thing of life getting miserable and dry is just because of losing the feminine, losing what makes. Why are we doing all this? We're wanting to worship the goddess of love. You know, we want more love. We want to have a life of love. Why else do we want that success and that money and that ladder to be climbed? Because we want to get to her. We want to get to her. The place in ourselves that is just resonating with peace and joy. Okay, but when you bring up you know, you're sort of against a masculine entitlement that the men are blind to. And what's interesting to me is when the men start shouting at me things like that it's not true, that there is no difference between men and women and we're all the same. And I think what they're trying to say is, yes, on a certain level, we do all have the same needs. We do. We all need to be peaceful and loving and be fed and have shelter and safety and freedom. But do notice, you know, when somebody who's oppressed speaks up and the person who has the power tries to talk them out of it, that is why things don't change. That, you know, that is the person who's got all the things on their side, wanting to keep their chocolate eggs for themselves, right? So they'll come up, they'll get defensive. So I get with this show a lot of really nasty comments that I immediately erase, and then I block those people. Guys, you're getting blocked if you're doing that. But come to think of how the change we're having in this world, that's really exciting. One of my videos got 27,000 views this week, and that's a really lot. That's like I don't think, yeah, it's going viral. And it's the one about why he won't go down on you. And what's interesting is, okay, I've got 60 comments, right, from that video. Half of them are totally positive, and 30 of them are scary, nasty, disgusting comments. But if you think of only 30 people out of 27,000 giving nasty comments, that is amazing. That means there's way, 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 way more wonderful people out there who are, you know, supporting me and loving what I'm doing, and or at least, you know, just fine with it. And so and this is what we do when we start speaking out. If one person is negative, we tend to amplify that as the whole world. Like, I can't speak out anymore because this one person is negative. But just take it with a grain of salt. As soon as you start speaking out your truth, whether it's to your family or your friends or your community or your job, and you start rustling, shaking things up a little bit, there will be some people who accuse you of being selfish, like the opposite of what you are, because you're putting your leg out there, your body out for everybody's sake, and it's you who is paying the price. So no, it's not that you're being selfish, but by speaking up, one person speaking up and saying what they really feel from the silent agenda, from the silent side that's never really heard or valued or rarely validated. Everybody's deep feminine starts to hear me. All the feminine aspects within the men, they're like, yeah, I can't just keep going nonstop without a day off. You know, 2 days off too, so that you have downtime, you get your chores done, and you actually connect with family, you know. Beautiful. Okay, so got it, girlfriend? You just, like, when I did my mural, I had 70 people try to stop the mural, and then I was going to give up, and then there was all these picket lines of people trying to protect the mural. I was like shocked, you know. So you have to take it with a grain of salt also if you're going to be creative in this world, that you always have people who don't like what you do. And, you know, as a singer, I have to know that. I have to know that there are some people that's not my Latin fusion music is not their style. And but then you'll find for the people who love you, those are the only ones you're serving. Those are the ones you're taking care of anyway. So you don't need to serve or take care of everybody else. You're just offering your flower, and let those who stop to smell the flowers be the ones who get the benefit of you. Okay, much love. Be brave. Be brave. Keep doing it. Okay, we're all doing it together. Us women have to speak out. We need to value ourselves, value our own thoughts and our own agenda first. You know, and when you have 3 women in a room, this is a statistic. With 1 woman speaking out in a room, she's just such a minority, and she's just like a voice that's just, people just talk her right out of what she says. You have 2 women in a room of men, you know, on a panel of being discussions or boardroom or whatever, and the 2 women are still a minority, and they're still just, people will sort of steal their ideas and pretend that it's theirs or talk over them. But as soon as you have 3 women in a room, no matter how many men are there, that force of the voice being echoed and repeated, and the women keep bringing up the same point. But my sister said, but she said, I agree with her and what she said, and they keep saying this thing over and over again, repeating, as you know, not letting it get changed or discarded, or the topic, you know, change of topic, don't keep coming back. Everything changes when 3 women are in the room. And this has been true at my job. I can't take credit alone for the changes that have been going on, because there's 3 of us now. Actually, now there's 4. And so we echo each other, and we have a different kind of a power. The men start to hear. They start to hear. All right? Get 3 of you in there, okay? If you can. All right, thanks. Love.